we go. I think that's about set. Yeah. Ooh, good evening. Good afternoon. Good morning. One of those. So, I know I said it before, and I don't know. Um, went ahead and decided to pick up the ToLiss A319. Yes, I said it, the ToLiss A319. You guys have seen this thing before. I mean, they have streamed the crap out of this thing. Um, I had a really good Airbus simulation, but I find myself um, to no fault to P3D, but I find myself playing P3D version 4. Not less, it's just, if I want to, like the MD-80, for example, I'll jump in it and, do my thing or whatever, but for the most part, I tend to, there's been some really good releases um, coming out for X-Plane, so it's been piquing my interest. We know how it goes. It all comes in waves, right? Just kind of depends on what's out there for what sim. That's why you'll never hear me say, oh, X-Plane does this or P3D does that. P3D is better than X-Plane. You'll never hear me say that because there's some add-ons. To me, it's about the content. If I got good content, then that's, to me, the content makes the sim. Yes, you got flight dynamics, blah blah blah. At the end of the day, it's a simulated aircraft, and that's just what it is. But like I said, there are some things that at the moment X-Plane does a little better than P3D, but then there's some things that P3D does a little better than X-Plane. So it's kind of, it's kind of tick for tack there. But if I could recommend, I don't know how I got on the subject, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish it out, and then we'll get with the intro. But and if I could recommend anything to anybody, if you can, is it economical? Probably not. But if you can, just go ahead and get both, and just protect the best of both worlds. But anyway, so we're here. We're in Orlando. I didn't expect for it to be raining, but it's raining. I'm gonna make a quick trip in a ToLiss A319. I'm going against what I actually wanted to do. I wanted to jump back in the Embraer. You guys know me. I'm all about my regionals, my RJs. But I picked the thing up because I was looking at a lot of reviews, and people have raved about this airplane and how good it is, and blah blah blah, and they're right. I mean, it's a really good simulation. I've been A319. I've never flown an A319, so I can't say how accurate it is. But there are several content providers out there who apparently has time in the A319 and can say this is fairly accurate flight modeling. It's pretty good. So yeah, we're in Orlando. Gonna make it's about an hour flight to Fort Lauderdale. That's about all I'm good for, honestly. You'll start looking at start looking at the actual flights that this thing takes, and it's from a commercial perspective, from an airline perspective, it's pretty nice. It's got a lot of flexibility. It's not, it's nothing ginormous, so you don't, you can take those low density routes, but at the same time you can, hit those 3-4 hour flights, which there are a few out there for this airplane. But yeah, like I said, I rarely take really long trips. But anywho, so yeah, we're gonna head to Fort Lauderdale. Spot, like I said, about an hour flight, give or take. I'm just throwing in the flight plan right now, and we should be on our way here shortly. That last stream I did, that was with the Falcon 50 EX, which from Coronado, which, you know, like I said, you know, it's Coronado, but we got from point A to point B. That's all that matters. Yeah. That is all that matters, as long as you get from point A to point B. So right now I'm just dialing in the flight plan, and we'll get going. Then we'll talk about this thing a little bit. I think I'm missing a departure. MLB. Oh no, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm lying. Let me go down here and pick 3-6 left. What is it? Did I say 3-6 left? Yeah, I say 3-6 left. Guess if to excuse me. I've been at yard work today, so, and it's about 4,000 degrees here in Texas. It has definitely been eventful. I think 3-6 right. I don't know. We'll call it slick. We'll say 3-6 right. All right, Fort Lauderdale arrival. 28 Romeo. But here we go, in there. But yeah, so it was a pretty decent flight last stream. Wasn't too bad at all. No via. I was kind of thinking about maybe taking P3D out, but, and like I said, there's been a lot of good content out for this platform. Let's get rid of that for a moment. Jump over here into our configuration screen. So yeah, I pretty much got everything set. Let's see, zero fuel weight is 57 kilograms. CG is 27.1. And I guess fuel's already set and all that fun stuff. So we'll just dial that. Let's see what we're looking at here. All right, 27.1. This is one of my, yeah, I'm not going to say a gripe. It's really not that. I mean, it's borderline petty, but it would be nice to have the capability of changing from kilograms to pounds. I mean, I understand, yes, we're a little behind on the metric system. I get that, you know, in the United States. Totally understand that, but, you know, there are operators who do function and still in the imperial system. So, I mean, not a huge deal. You know, it wasn't a deal breaker. I mean, I still bought it, but it would be kind of nice to, you know, just a little radio button, beep, beep, you know, pounds, kilograms, you know, depending on your flavor. Luckily, most flight planners out there have, you know, has that capability of, you know, just select kilograms and bam, there you go. So, that works out pretty good. So it's really, I mean, honestly, it's of no consequence. It's really not a huge issue, but it's really the, I mean, I guess as far as, you know, things that I would like to see at some point, that would be one of them. Flaps 1. I think it's like, what's it up? 0.5 up. 0.5. So, hey, I'll get this old flight management computer all nice and dialed in, and we'll ease on up out of here. Alright, yeah, it looks like we're about lined out there. Like I said, this flight's not long, 286 nautical miles, you know, give or take, plus or minus, nothing crazy. The sounds on this thing, you know, I think probably could use, you know, a bit of an improvement, but nothing. I mean, it still sounds good, but could use a little bit of improvement. I think there's a sound pack that's coming out from BBS, I believe. BBS Sounds, I think, is same guys that came out with the sound pack for the CRJ and completely breathed new life into that thing.
Down to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
Excuse me. So hopefully we'll be seeing that here shortly. I don't know how they're gonna pull that off. We'll just, there you go.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Alright, get the old APU fired up and then we'll get the bleed air going and push out of here. And there we go. And APU bleeds on. That's all nice and happy. Then we can jump into it. I'm sure there's like a click spot somewhere for this this screen, but I hadn't found it yet. But that'll be fine. All right, so there's that. So we're just waiting for the.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Waiting for the tow. And let's see. A little shower. Doesn't seem to be anything too crazy. Man, where is this pushback truck? Goodness gracious. There it is. They're getting everything hooked up.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Alright. I don't know if I can I release it? Use my pedals? No, I can't. There we go.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and we'll wait and get pushed back, and once we get pushed, we'll go ahead and fire up the engines. And I believe 36 right is the favorite airport this evening. I'll go ahead and set this up for 35 on the flight level. There we go. Beacons on, fuel pumps are on. We'll go ahead and throw that guy to start. Now, I would like to see a bit more. I mean, so these are valves, right? These are pneumatic valves. It would be nice to kind of see more of a gradual increase in pressure rather than, you know, bam, 41 psi. You know, we all know that doesn't work quite like that, but you know, maybe something on the back burner. I'm sure someone has mentioned it. But that would be something, you know, that probably something I'd like to have looked at. Wait for to finish up here. I was impressed that it did have a virtual cabin. That was pretty nice.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
All right. Should be pretty close to being done, so we'll go ahead and light two. fire off number 2. There's that number 2 compressor there coming up. And once again, everything's in kilograms, so you just gotta mind your difference in fuel flow if you're not thinking about it. Now, I think these are...
Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time, and have fun up there.
There's EGT coming up there. Now, these are the IAE engines, I think. This is the one, yeah, I think it is. Yeah, there you go. So they do tend to start a hair slower than the CFMs. I don't know if they model there or not. I didn't sit and time it at all. But all right, there's number 2, and fire up number 1. There's the PTU. Keeping everything pressurized. And there's that number 1. I can hear a compressor spinning up there. And coming up, there's the AGT looking like she's going to creep up, and there she goes, coming out to play and coming up right there. Cool. Looking pretty good so far. Fuel flow looks good. My oil temp and quantity looks good on both sides. There we go. I got that generator switching over there. Alright, cool. There's that, there's that. Everything looks good up here. And that whole dark panel philosophy does come in handy when, you know, you're just giving it a quick once over. So this flight might bleed off a little bit. Well, I know it's probably going to bleed off into more of a dark setting. So I apologize for that. I'll try to hurry up, and I do use real time for my simming, but I was trying to hurry up and get back before it got too late on me. May do another one tomorrow. It just kind of depends on how the day plays out. And let's see, I think 3.6 right is what we're looking for. Heck, might as well get all the night lights on. I mean, goodness. Now, they did seem to capture that interesting characteristic of the IAEs with the heightened idle that they have, so that's pretty nice. I mean, I'm 0 on the throttle. I have to make this left. But, you know, going back to, you know, my whole P3D X-plane thing, you know, just little things sometimes that, you know, I kind of, you know, I really appreciate about X-plane, like the changes in elevation. I mean, yeah, you know, they do, most airports are, you know, leveled and all that fun stuff, but, I mean, God bless it, you know, I'm sure a lot of you guys have been in those airports where it's like you're landing downhill. You know, you actually touch down downhill, and then you're rolling out uphill. I mean, you know, we've all seen a lot of those runways, and you know, even though they, you know, do their best to make sure everything's level, I mean, you do have undulations and things like that in the terrain. I know some airports you may have to come up with power a little bit, you know, to, you know, in certain areas of the airport, some you don't. I mean, that's just the reality, and to a lot of people are, a lot of people recommend, just turn off the terrain. Oh, I forgot the you guys know what I'm talking about, the hills and things like that on the runways, and I don't know, I tend to leave mine on, but that's just me. I kind of enjoy. Sometimes it can be a little unrealistic, and I totally get that, but to me, it kind of outweighs the added immersion for me. Kind of outweighs the inconvenience of some unrealistic sections. So go ahead and ease on the brake right there. Cool. All right, so takeoff config. Go ahead and double check cabin crew. Make sure we're good to go. Cabin crew prepare for departure. Takeoff config. Bam, that's good there. Spoilers armed. Auto brakes max. Hope we don't need that. Let's go ahead and bring up our landing lights there to on, TO, strobe lights in auto. I don't know if the flight crews use that in auto or not. I'm sure there's probably some quirk, and a lot of crews probably prefer to just do it manually. I don't know. You would think, but who knows? Who knows? Alright, let's go ahead and take this active here. A little wing view there. Make sure we are clear on the final, we're clear on the runway, and we're going to assume we have, pretend we have clearance. And let's see if we can do a rolling departure out of here. See if we can do that. Let's see how this thing works out for us. We're battling that center line there. I'm good with that. Alright, go ahead and bring it up about 50%. Let the engines come on up, and we'll go ahead and send it there for flex 73. Coming up nicely there. We do have forward pitch. Wait for 100 knots. Alright, neutral on the pitch. Alright, rotate. Pause ready climb. Gear is coming up. Just real smooth. I mean, I do like that about this particular Sims. Real smooth on controls. I'm hands off right now. She's holding the attitude just fine. Alright, let's go ahead and put those throttles in climb and lean this puppy out, and we'll go ahead and get up to climb speed. And we'll work those last notch of flaps out of there. Excellent. Let's see. Go ahead and hit that. All right. I'll put this guy in head mode. All right. Go ahead and engage AP1. I do that to give me an opportunity to kind of aviate real quick here. Put this on nav for a minute. Zooming out just a hair. Alright. Make that right turn out of Orlando. There's a wing view there. And just beautiful night lighting, man. That's what really attracted me. That explains just that evening transition, that golden hour right before sunset. Man, just looks gorgeous. But enough of that. All right, coming out of 5,000 feet, looking pretty good. Once we get lined out here, we'll go ahead and do a direct to Mike Lima Bravo, and that should take us on out to Fort Lauderdale. And I don't think we'll be needing this. Okay, there we go. Alright. Lining out right there on 145. We'll jump in our McDo and direct. Mike Lima Bravo. Insert. Just like that. Throw that girl back in the arc. That's kind of where I like it at there. Cool. Try to brighten things up for you guys. I really didn't mean to be leaving this late. I was hoping to get back in time, but then it's the East Coast and it's well into the night there, so my bad. Alright, 10,000 feet. And landing lights retract. Nose light off. And it's pretty smooth up here so far. So we'll go ahead and... we'll wait. We'll wait till we get out of this cloud layer. I don't know what it's going to do. Let's see. There we got a little time for an external view. Oh yeah, climbing out nicely. Oh yeah, so, but yeah, I was a little hesitant on the purchase, and it's nothing against ToLiss. I've heard nothing but good things about it. Everyone raves about it. This thing is, this is it. This is the head cheese in the X-Plane world as far as Airbus A319s are concerned. But there is another. I'm sure we all have heard of Flight Factor. They tend to kind of not so much as compete, but they're from what I've read, there's some things that Flight Factor does really nicely that ToLiss doesn't, and there's some things ToLiss does nicely that Flight Factor doesn't. So I mean, if you if you like both, get both. I think you'll be pleased either way. As I said, as far as how I think, or from what I've read, how the Airbus behaves from a flying aspect, it feels very close to that. I'm not going to sit here and and I've said this before, I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys, oh well, this thing's realistic, because how in the heck are you supposed to know? It's almost like I've been driving freaking sedans all my life, and all of a sudden I jump in a freaking American Truck Simulator driving a Peterbilt. I'm like, man, this thing really feels like a Peterbilt. I mean, it just makes no sense. So but just based on what I've, as far as how the fly-by-wire should function, things like that, just very smooth, very stable, very predictable, which I think is what Airbus was, I think that's what they were shooting for when they first came out with this thing. And ToLiss nailed it. There's something about QPAC. I was reading it. They were talking about something about QPAC, and I guess that provides the back end for the fly-by-wire simulation. So, shout out to QPAC wherever they are. I do remember them releasing an airplane at one point. I don't know. I don't know the whole story, but I'm sure the majority of you guys probably know more than I do. But with that being said, I was a little nervous, because there were some things, that a lot of people were saying in regards to, things that could be improved. But I mean, I have to say, I've been just really, the thing just flies. It feels good. It feels really good. Just like that. Just like you buy a brand new mattress and just that, man, like, where have I been? Like that. You don't feel like you don't feel like the plane's flying you. If that makes sense. It's very, very, you know, predictable. Something um, builds one's confidence, so to speak. I know a lot of, in the past, we've streamed the CRJ 200 and the ERJ 145, the Saab 340, those airplanes, you gotta stay ahead of them, and let's just be honest, yeah, they do put you to work sometimes. We all know that. That's kind of how the thing works. But once you get up to this caliber of aircraft, even in the real world, you find yourself, you know, working less, because you got the systems there. I mean, it's kind of what they're there for, to lessen the workload, so you're just not so beat up when you get out of the thing. But with that being said, I mean, there are a couple of things that could, in my opinion, be improved on. And like I said, this is probably this is probably beating a dead horse. This thing's been out for a while now, and everybody and their mom streamed it. I mean, I've watched hundreds of them. When I was trying to decide which one to buy, it's like, oh my gosh, you got the flight factor here, but Jesus, it's like $90, and you got the ToLiss, everybody's saying really, good things about it, but and it's only $70. It's like, well, dang, do I want A320 or A319? And for me, like, I like, flying a lot of, semi-realistic routes. That's kind of what I enjoy doing. And I know out of Dallas, you don't see, it's not inundated with a lot of A320 or A319 flights. There are some out there. I do feel, I do find that, I know at least out of Dallas, and I think there's other places where, heck, you might not see nothing but A320s and A319s. If you do, or if you guys live next to an airport, you see a lot of them, let me know. But anyway, I see, I don't know, Dallas just has a lot of variety. DFW has a lot of variety. But I see more, and you probably hear my keyboard clicking and clacking, because I'm just kind of going through here. You see a lot of Embraer 170s, a lot of 17 flights, a lot of CRJ 7 and 900 flights, which I think SSG is coming out with a CRJ 700 Sim 4X plane, which is just going to blow the doors off the hinges for me. I'm really stoked about that. And you see a lot of like I said, Embraer 170s, which between SSG and X-Crafts, they pretty much got that covered. And yeah, so, and the few Airbus flights you do see, most of them are 2-3 hours, 4 hours, which works for that sector, but I mean, I'm sure if you're just like, I think this is a Spirit. Yes, it's a Spirit Airlines flight. So the Greyhound bust of the skies, so to speak. But this is from Orlando to Fort Lauderdale. So I had to kind of venture out to really to find a I was like, oh, this would be a pretty nice flight. So there's that. But then again, on the flip side, you want something that, I know for me, that flies. That's a good approximation of the real thing. I mean, systems wise, I mentioned the gradual increase in pneumatic pressure. As the when that valve opens, that line equalizes, right? So, we all know that, it's just, bam, it's instant. It's not there. It's not like, not dealing with electricity where it's instantaneous. There's, gradual, change. Sometimes you might not get exactly 40. Sometimes you may get 39 or 38 or, something like that. Which, and then, we talk about the minute things, and that's where FS Labs kind of slides in there, when we start talking about both platforms. And to me, it seems like FX Labs, to me, it's just me, captured like those small nuances, those little small characteristics, in day-to-day operations that, unless someone tells you, you would probably never really notice it, and of course, yeah, you never really notice it. So I mean, how would you miss it? But then, somebody tells you, hey, did you guys notice this? Oh, that's pretty cool, right? Um, so I mean, it is kind of nice to, find little surprises in the simulation, as you're, putting hours into it. And to me, I think FS Labs does that a little more so um, than ToLiss and Flight Factor, but to me, but I mean, as far as flying wise, if I had to compare it to, I think this has a lot to do with the engine, than anything else. I mean, the platform than anything else is the fact of how smooth this thing flies, and it's just very, very fluid. Um, you 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 provide a command via the flight controls, and the airplane holds it. You know, and very, very, very few airplanes really capture that, and so that in itself, to me, is speaks volumes. And there's even, like I said, there's a content provider who's also a Airbus driver as well, and I think he's even verified the performance numbers and how close this thing is, in regards to performance values, and I mean it's basically spot on. So I mean, in terms of that, you gotta give credit where credit's due. You really do. Um, but yeah, do I regret my purchase? No, absolutely not. This thing's awesome, guys. Think I may cheat, and when I say cheat, I think I may change this thing to daylight. But I know you guys aren't seeing much at all. I'm thinking about cheating. I don't know, but the night lighting is pretty nice, and we'll kind of see. I'm sure you can see here how the exterior kind of looks there. I mean, you get a little bit of an exterior, from a exterior standpoint. Kind of still can you get the picture, you get the idea. I don't know. We may roll that, see what happens. Like I said, it's pretty quick flight. We're probably going to come up, touch 350, and start making our way down. Speaking of which, I'll go ahead and jump over here. And, those of you, if you've flown any sort of Airbus simulation at all, whether it be FS Labs, black box, whatever, as far as the cockpit commonality, I mean, you guys can jump in here and be able to function just fine. Let's see here. Just kind of giving the flight plan a once over here. Alright, so yeah, we'll come in for a downwind. Base to final. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward. Nothing, you know, insane. Nothing fancy at all. Yeah, this is what I really love about flying at night in X-Plane, man. I mean, it just looks so realistic. So there's a buddy of mine. He's a captain on a metro liner, freight flavor, which I'm pretty sure most of you may know what outfit he works for. But yeah, he's actually, he was the one that actually kind of, I guess, not so much, I would say converted, really didn't convert me, but I guess he kind of did, but he didn't, whatever. But he was just like, man, just looked so dadgum realistic, and I have to agree with him. They do a really good job. Now, there's some things, man, come on, we gotta have some seasons, we gotta have some seasons. It'd be kind of nice without an add-on. I'm sure there are add-ons out there that make that change for you, which that's all. I mean, that's all well and dandy, but at the same time, it'd be kind of nice to, if I'm up in Minneapolis or something, making a run, around what, I don't know, the fall, Octoberish, Novemberish, be kind of nice start kind of see some snow. The white textures or something like that underground. Like I said, there are add-ons that do that already, but be kind of nice to see some seasons. I know I was reading, where was it? I don't know which one was it. I can't remember. But anyway, they're working on microburst for thunderstorms. So that's going to be interesting. I say that because, most of us already run some sort of third-party weather engine, and didn't really pay attention, but I'm pretty sure that Active Sky probably has some sort of microburst simulation in there. Enter destination data. Let's see. And we double check see if there's still a favor to it, because if not, that will work out perfect, and we can actually take the other runway. No, that's right. 28. Yeah, well, I guess we're hanging on 28. Then we'll probably be starting our descent here shortly. Let's see, I'm pretty close, about 155 miles. So this is kind of where you want to start, self-planning your descent. Really can't go off the, top of descent or whatever. So what we'll do here, we'll probably start working our way down there. We'll set it about 12,000 there. Go ahead and start that descent. And let's make some adjustments here. So I would like to just kind of hit that base leg there, but I don't think that's going to happen. Don't think that's going to happen. We might be alright, but I don't know. Let's see here. So, went to Mosey. Fizzle, I'd like to go ahead and hit. Let's see here, let's do this. After Fizzle, we'll go ahead and clear Watt. We'll also go ahead and clear BPAC, Agoya, and we'll let's see if we can expedite that. There we go. Now I'll tell you what else we're gonna do. Whoop. Not that. Let's make a little 360 and burn off some of this altitude I picked up here. And you know what, we'll go ahead and change that time as well, because that's kind of, I don't know about you guys, but although realistic, sometimes it's not very enjoyable to I'll do some kind of route right there. Bam. There we go, much better. Much better. And probably walk this down here a little further. Can probably actually kick in a little spoiler. And get rid of some of these lights here. I don't think we'll need those right now. steadily working on that on this turn here. Coming out 23,000 for 12. And once we're at 12,000, of course, we'll just push on through that to that initial approach fix altitude. Should be around 2,500. Alright, 19,000 feet. Alright, and altimeter setting. Let's see what we're looking at. 3008. Yeah, we'll probably go ahead and make another left turn here. Alright, let's see. Let's go back direct to Fizzle. I'll probably shallow this up a little bit. About 2,700 foot per minute. And getting close to 12,000. And we'll go ahead and keep that 2,700 foot per minute rate of descent. Okay, it's 10,000 feet. And get slowed down to about 240 knots. Get myself a little centered, a little more centered. I mean, there we go. And bring this up to about 1,200 foot per minute. All right, 6,000 feet. And this does come with avio tab or whatever, so you can type in the airport code and give you the runways. There's Fort Lauderdale. I'm gonna turn our landing lights on here. I'm gonna let the cabin crew know, prepare for landing. Let's see, 25 right there. crossing over Fizzle and 18 miles from our final approach fix. That's going to happen pretty quick, so we can go ahead and get our first page together. 3008 and temperature 24 090. Let's see. Let's go up here and double check that one more time. Winds are calm. Never mind then. Alright, and start 500 feet there. And there we go. We're at 2,500 feet. We'll hold that. About 13 miles out from the airport. Alright, see about 8 miles there. We'll go ahead and start slowing this guy down. Getting ourselves set up. There's flaps 1. Oops. Alright, gonna slow down to about 180. I'll go ahead and set this guy on approach mode. Go ahead and arm that. Alright, so we got a localizer alive coming in nicely. Go ahead and arm a spoiler. Glide slope's alive. I'll go ahead and slide on about 170. And we'll call gear down. Whoops. Whoop. There we go. Come on. There we go. Alright, and flaps 2. Okay, 143. And flaps 3. Yeah, we'll set for about 140 on the approach speed. And we'll throw that foul notch flaps there. And we'll go ahead and ding the cabin, let them know. And we'll set our brake up for medium. Oops. Got the runway in sight there. And I'll go ahead and take those controls. And like I said, just having flying is so smooth.
1,000. Hundred above.
Alright.
Minimum.
Landing.
400. 300. 200.
Glide slope.
Yep, I know.
Glide slope.
100. 50. 40. 30. Retard.
Alright.
Drive.
Alright, down there. Okay. Yep, there we go. 60 knots, so we're out of it. Squeeze those brakes and see if we can take this exit. I think we can. There we got it. All right. I'll catch a replay real quick. See what that looked like from the outside. Meh. That'll do. That'll do. All right, cool. And go ahead and get her cleaned up. Let's see. And turn these off here as well. On APU. Let's see it on. And we'll catch one of these jetways in here. Alright, looks like that one looks inviting. We'll pull in here. Alright. We'll ease on in here. Looking good, and we'll go ahead and right there's what we'll call it. Alright, bleeds on. Beacon light off. Fuel pumps off. That guy off. Cool. Excellent. This guy's off over here. Sweet. Alright guys, appreciate you. Appreciate you jumping in there and checking out a little quick trip. Man, it's pretty quick. I want to at least do something with the ToLiss. It'll probably be something else next time, but beautiful airplane, a great flying airplane, and yeah, look forward to some more updates. But I'll jump off here for now, ladies and gentlemen, and until next time, appreciate you guys for checking me out, and we'll see you later.